Okay. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. We have a great artist spotlight today. Paula Prass, right? From
Right.
from San Diego. So today we're gonna talk to Paula and get to know her, and it'll be fun to learn where she's from and the background and what she's doing now. So Paula,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. How's the weather over there right now?
Right now
pretty
it
hot.
is very cloudy.
Oh, just like in Seattle. Okay.
Yes. And it's not been hot. It's been actually quite chilly here.
Yeah.
I don't know about today because I haven't been outside, but
yeah. All right. Well, let's get started. Like, tell us who you are and where you're from and what you've been doing.
Okay, let's see. Where did I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and had a very unpleasant childhood.
Okay.
My parents, well, my mother didn't want me, so I was passed around quite a bit, and then I ended up with, actually found out later, it was really my great aunt and uncle. So yeah, things went from bad to worse, a lot of abuse and all that. So yeah, I started grade school, I started first grade without ever having gone to kindergarten or knowing my ABCs or 1, 2, 3s or the simplest things, So my first grade wasn't very pleasant at all. And then I anyway, in and out of foster homes, in and out of bad situations. And I became a ward of the state at 16. So basically homeless, but yeah, living here and there. I kept a shopping bag in my, like, just a grocery sack in my locker with clothes and stuff in it to go find a place to live, friend's house for, to spend the night or whatever. Anyway, so I was a very, very insecure, scared child, and ended up, very lost and all that kind of stuff. So the beginning of my life wasn't great, and wasn't great until I met my husband.
Really cool.
And he's I call him my Jesus in blue jeans, or other times he's my MacGyver, Tim MacGyver.
Yeah. Nice.
And so he's been just a wonderful support, and through that I've really for the first time was able to do things and for myself, or I never went to college, except I did take college courses, but they were always art courses, and then took a lot of art classes, but I ended up being an interior designer. When I was back then, the only thing you could do with art was to be a school teacher or a freelance artist, or it was very limited back then. And there weren't very many women artists either. So so I decided to learn everything I could about interior design, because I was naturally good at it. I was naturally good at art. And that was my best subject in school.
So you always started with art, or since the beginning?
Yes.
When you go to school, you're always interested in doing art already.
Yes, I loved art. That was
Yeah.
my thing.
Yeah.
But I also loved interior design. I love fashion, you know, so I could have gone different ways. In fact, I kind of have, you know, experienced all of it. But
Mhm.
I ended up being an interior designer and doing really well with it. And I had my own company, and
Mhm.
I I did these decorator show houses once a year,
Mhm.
and it was where all designers come together and they basically fix up a mansion,
Mm.
and you
Nice.
know, very nice. And that was in Indianapolis, and
How old
so
were
I
you?
won.
I'm sorry.
Um, good. Don't ask me math questions.
Okay, roughly, is it in the 20s or
I
30s?
would say 40s by
40s?
then.
Okay, okay.
30s, 40s, I don't know. I
Mhm.
ended up winning awards
Mhm.
like right out of the gate. You know, I
Nice.
started winning awards for my designs. I ended up
Mhm.
being in magazines,
Mhm.
um, and you know, a couple national type of things, and so I gained more and more confidence in myself,
Yeah.
and felt for the first time, you know, that I'm really accomplishing something.
Mhm.
When 9/11 happened,
Mm.
um, things started changing because I was concerned so many of my clients actually had family in New York,
Mm.
and so everybody just was kind of like upheaval. So at the same time, I had a friend tell me that she thought I should start, um, you know, spreading out and maybe doing some shows or something, you know.
Mm. Nice.
And so I started doing that.
Mhm.
And I ended up doing like making my own products,
Mm.
and
Okay.
then going to market. So I started off in Atlanta,
Mhm.
the big gift show, and then I ended up doing New York, um,
Okay.
the New York International Gift Fair. I don't know if they're still calling it that, and doing all these like building crates and carrying all these products and selling them to stores.
Okay.
And so then I started doing some art with that as well. But
Mm.
it was well, it was my grandson. My daughter was pregnant, and so and we knew it was going to be a boy, so I started doing all these children's rooms, you know,
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um and then I did girls too, and I just
Uh-huh.
did this whole like bedding and artwork
Mm.
and lamps and picture frames and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So that
Uh-huh.
was called Mimi's collection. And
Okay.
then from there, I had a Paula Prass collection as well. Moved, you know, we had these huge crates and setting up and tearing down. It was like a big deal. So I did that for a few years and then started, well, that's when you could start showing on the computer, what, you know, on Facebook and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, you
Yeah.
know, things started changing. Then
Mhm.
I was getting opportunities to do licensing then.
Mm.
People were contacting me to do fabric collections and do
Nice. Okay.
like papyrus, to do
Mhm.
you know, a
Sticker.
collection for them, a
Okay.
children's collection. It was and oh gosh, then I got, I mean, yeah. So eventually,
How is
so
mm.
I yeah, it was after 9/11.
Yeah.
Then it was like, you know, shortly after that is when I started going to the shows,
Mhm.
selling to stores. And
Mhm.
I got up to 750 some stores
Wow.
that I was trying to, but it was really, really hard because all the product was actually um, made by us. So it's
Hmm.
becoming impossible. Like we are working around the clock. I had a bunch of employees trying to help,
Yeah.
and and it just got to be too much. So when
Hmm.
I started getting these opportunities for licensing,
Yeah.
then that helped me because I basically just turned it over to whoever, I had already done the designs.
I
And
see.
so some of them, some of the other products I just quit doing.
Hmm.
And anyway, so that's was a big change in my life. And I
Yeah.
started my first website
Okay.
and all that, and started doing more artwork once we moved. We Tim's job changed and we had to move to California.
Hmm.
Well, they sent him to California.
Yeah.
So of course I went with him, and and decided, after being an interior designer and doing all this really, really meeting deadlines with the
Hmm.
companies that I was working for, and working through holidays and
Mm.
everything. I
Yeah.
just decided when we got here that I was just going to concentrate on artwork, which I had never been able to do before. I
Mm.
mean,
Okay.
I did artwork
Yeah.
and included it in, some of my show houses, and did paintings for some really good clients, for their
Yeah.
homes and that kind of
Yeah.
thing, as a gift and that type of thing. But once I moved here, I decided, I'm going to take it easy and just start doing artwork.
Hmm. So you when once you move, you don't do the interior design anymore, or are you still doing both?
I'm not doing interior design except my own places.
Yeah. Okay.
we've moved several times in our
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our lives,
Yeah.
and I fixed up every house,
Hmm.
and we buy fixer uppers usually,
Hmm.
and but um, so
But
we
how? Sorry to interrupt. How is
no
the transition for you? Was it pretty natural transition from doing this business things or like design things, and
yeah
then now you doing more of fine art? Like how does that transition work for you?
well I guess I call it reinventing myself.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I've had to do that. I've
Hmm.
had to learn how to do that because I never had great opportunities on my own,
Hmm.
like with going to school, college for art or anything
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
or interior design. So
Yeah.
I became an interior designer, an ASID designer
Hmm.
on my own.
Hmm.
you
Okay.
know and
Oh.
same with becoming a licensed designer. I had never done anything like that before, so
Yeah.
I changed and figured out how to do that,
Yeah.
and designing fabrics. I had never done that before in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what I was doing, just
Yeah. You're learning on
but
the
I got
job.
asked to do it and I learned how. And so
Yeah.
so art was more natural to me because I
Hmm.
was always a good artist.
Hmm.
And so that's like, I'm just realizing, now I'm an old person, but I learn
Come on now.
something new every day. And
Yeah.
I keep trying, and I keep, you know, um, I took Art to Life, the
Yeah.
CBP
Hmm.
program,
Yeah.
and I joined different groups, and of course yours. And
Hmm.
so I'm always learning and trying new things, and I'm
Yeah.
not always good at them. Like, I'm not great at the computer stuff, but I do try something new in art
Yeah.
all the time. That's
Yeah.
why it's hard for me to. I was asked just a couple days ago, 3 days ago, to do a solo show
Hmm.
here in San Diego, and I was so honored. But then it was only like 12 days away.
Oh no.
And okay, so then I'm like, and then she said, I want more realistic things, not your realistic work. I don't want abstract, because they have so much of that already. They wanted to
Uh-huh.
do the other. And then it just got narrowed down and narrowed down. And I'm like, I don't have enough stuff for that,
Yeah, yeah,
to do a show in that amount of time
yeah.
with a focus. The focus was actually on these little guys right here.
Yeah, I love those.
They love those. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're giving me a whole wall and these are only 3x6. I don't think it's gonna work. So anyway, they're so nice. I just got word that they're gonna have me do a show later on, and I'll have
That's
more
good.
time to work on whatever.
Work on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's what's the latest work you've been doing? More like the work that behind you there? It's more like that? Like,
I don't know. I still like everything so much.
yeah. So you
I try a little
different
of this,
thing.
then I go
Okay.
back. But yeah, I have done, honestly, thinking about it, I've done faces a lot more recently, which has always been scary, but I've, probably spent too much time doing them. But I don't know. There's something about faces.
Who are these faces? Who are those people? Like,
these little ones, they're my okay, my
what's the
very
story
first
behind them?
class.
Okay.
They I don't hardly have any pictures of my childhood. There's hardly anything, but I have this picture of my first grade class, and it's the first grade class the first time, because the next year they put me in parochial school.
Okay.
And so my first grade class had 57 children in it.
Okay.
And I was the only one that had never learned ABCs or anything. So I was so out of it. And I was also told that I was going to a school for bad kids.
Okay.
And so
that's their word.
I really thought that was the truth. So because I was so limited, I was never allowed around other kids, or I never got to play or anything like that. So I didn't know any better, and I believed it. So I go to first grade, and I'm like, see you later. And all the other kids are like clinging on to their moms and going, please don't leave me. Don't leave me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
No, this is great, because I had never been away from her. So so I get in there, and I thought all these kids were supposed to be bad kids, and so I really was the bad kid.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so I had this photograph, and so it's so tiny, they're only that big, and with that many kids, I had to get out a magnifying glass, and my husband and I just were looking at the faces and just started laughing, because I didn't know any of these kids. I don't remember them. I don't know them, but the faces were hysterical, and they were so funny, for a class picture. And so I just got this funny idea to try to put them on these little blocks, just their faces. Okay. So this is only 9 of
but it's from the photographs, it's from your school pictures.
Yes, tiny little tiny photographs. I mean, one little 4x6 or something, and then they were so tiny I had to do magnifying glasses and blow them up and that. But it was fun for me. It was just kind of fun, because I don't take life too seriously, because it was so serious in the past. And I just enjoy humor, and so I started noticing that one of the girls, she cut her hair apparently right before. She has 3 layers of bangs. One is bald up here, and then you know what I mean? And so it was like hilarious to me, and I started making up stories about the kids, and
I see. I think that's awesome. I didn't know that story about these work. I mean, It's
Yeah,
definitely.
they all have like, okay, so my, you might know that, you do know that I got hacked on
Mhm.
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
So I had so many life stories mixed in with my paintings of various
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
So and I always told the stories behind them. So each time I did one of these kids, I made up a little story about them. I've always been like
Mhm.
that though. When
Yeah.
I did the children's collection, I had these animal type, they were half kind of, they were dressed up animals,
Yeah.
and I had detailed stories about each one of them.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
great.
they were like bunnies, and Benjamin Bunny, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's
Amelia Earhart was another bunny. So
so you definitely need to develop this more then, yeah? I think that's what you're thinking about, you're planning to do.
well, I think so. And they really wanted to do this. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
you know what? If you give me more time, I have lots
yeah.
of things. And you know that I did that one of me when I was maybe third or fourth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it ended up winning. Um, the juror was Nick Wilton,
Oh,
and
okay.
I ended up winning a honorable mention for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it was the one of me where, well, do you want me to show it to you?
Sure, yeah. Do you have it?
Okay, it's this one. Can you see
Ah, I
it?
remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it says,
Tell me, yeah, tell us more about these. So,
well, this was me,
uh-huh.
and I don't hardly have any school pictures of me, but I had this one,
Mm-hmm.
and so this call for art was based on your true colors,
Okay.
and so I chose orange.
Uh-huh.
Like this is the
Yeah.
from kind of a prison sentence.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what I called it, life sentence. And
Okay.
I literally carved these into
You
the
did to the
board.
wood?
Yeah, they're
Oh my
carved.
God. It's
Out,
a
just
little.
like if I was a prisoner and I
Oh
was trying
no.
to. Anyway, so I just had fun with it, and it wasn't anything that anybody else did. They all did colorful,
Yeah.
things
Abstract
like
or
that.
okay.
But yeah, so I have this warped sense of humor with,
Mm-hmm.
it was called Mother's Department of Corrections. But
Okay.
anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, and I did another one of me wearing a dunce cap, and so I'm really thinking about doing more of that. And I'm like, I don't know who would buy them, but
Well, I think
but
yeah, I
just
think
the
if
idea. So yeah, I'm just having fun, and I'm not I don't know, whatever comes to me right
yeah.
now, and I'm through it all, I'm learning that have I know what I like more than I used to. I try
Mhm.
everything, but
Yeah.
I finding that I'm leaning towards a certain kind of art and a certain kind of feeling that I want people to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we were talking about like who's going to buy those things. That's when
Yeah,
we
right,
froze.
right, right.
But the way I think about it though, the story of childhood that you have there, the
Uh-huh.
picture. Um, so I was gonna say the story, the story of the childhood, although it's unique to you, it's also not that you like other people has experienced similar thing, although they're not exactly the same. I think that's how
Yes.
you connect, right? You know, I think this the story behind all of that different pictures, like a funny pictures in the um, group pictures. I think that's pretty common. Um, like a funny faces in the group
Mm-hmm.
picture. You know, it could be a way to where we connect because I have that too. Although the story is different, but I have funny pictures of my friends. So just from that,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I love that work that you're doing. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, I didn't know the story behind it until you told me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is good. Um, But yeah, what's other things that you're working on other than that piece?
Oh,
Well, I think what I like about your work is that it's very personal to you, which is, nobody can replicate your work. So that's, we've been talking about that a lot. Um,
yeah,
so, oh, and then I was asking you about what other work that you're doing other than this. I know you're doing abstract as well.
yeah.
And you mentioned about you trying different things right now. But
I've been doing collage, a lot of collage here and there. But then, the thing is that I have ADD. and so I can't just do one thing. Like I
yeah,
see people that do one thing and one thing only
yeah,
day in and day out. I can't do that.
you can't do that. Yeah,
I have to be trying different things, and if I do an abstract, then I feel like the next thing I'm going to do is a realistic painting, and back and forth.
yeah. It's trying to
That's right.
it's kind of balancing the two, I think.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like I use different parts of my brain. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it.
I think so. I feel the same way with design work too.
Yeah.
After doing them design, there's a lot of, there's a spec for it. There's a goal type of like,
Mhm.
um, trying to fulfill the requirements, right? And then the art part is totally different. So it's kind of a
Yeah,
different world, but you kind of need both.
yeah.
Anyways. So let's see. So the next, well, you were gonna do a solo show, but then you kind of like postponing it. But maybe that's the next
Yes,
thing.
they're going to work with me with a little more time, a little
Yeah,
more time frame, because I thought that was tough, even in the best of circumstances, to pull something off that quickly.
yeah.
But then when we kept narrowing it down to they were narrowing it down to what they really wanted to see.
Hmm.
And of course I agree. I want cohesiveness. I don't want to
Yeah,
do it if it's just slapping stuff up, whatever I had. I
yeah.
want it to work together. So I'm really willing to do that.
Okay, good. All right. Let's see. How about some advice?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
oh my gosh. Sure. How about an advice to your young self? How about that?
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
up to you, really.
I can do that.
Yeah. See, it's the same thing. You're talking about. I've been doing the same similar thing, like giving advice to my young self, but
Yeah.
actually, that advice applied to other people as well. So you just never
Yes.
know. Uh,
Yes.
so, how about it?
Okay.
Give us some advice, Paula.
Yeah. So believe in yourself. um,
Yeah.
don't believe the things that are in your head that were told to you, unless they were good things. Because we can lie to ourselves, and we can also believe the lies
Yeah.
that others said. You'll never amount to anything, you'll never be anything. I heard it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came into my young life, my younger days, believing every bit of it, that nobody loves me, nobody wants me, and it's not true. But if you believe it, you kind of manifest, what you believe. Mm-hmm. And so believe good things about yourself. Believe that you can do things, good things. And no one was more surprised than me when I started winning awards when I was brand new in interior design.
Yeah, there must be a really big boost there, really.
Yes, it was a big jump for me, and I kept doing it. And the last award that I won, that was really the end for me. I knew I needed to, just work with clients more than spend so much time on that.
Yeah.
I don't need those plaques anymore. Yeah. You don't know what to do with.
Right.
I didn't need them. They're sitting in a box somewhere. but I knew then in my heart that I was good at that. But then I could go, and again, ADD, I can move on to
different things.
Reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Have that ability. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because there's so many other opportunities, trying new things and finding out what you really, I'm still learning what I really like and what I really want to do. And
continue.
And I'm hungry as ever,
Yeah. Curiosity. Always.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate your story. I didn't realize the story behind you, so that I really appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate it as well and get to know you a little bit more. But yeah, and thank you for your time today.
Sure.
Do you have any other last words before you?
No, but I cleaned house for you.
Oh, nice. It looks nice. The wall, I like it. That's nice.
Thank you.
That's like 4x4, is it? Or smaller than that?
Those are 3x3s.
Wow.
And they're like blocks.
Blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And there's a hole in the back, I guess?
No, you know what we did?
What did you do?
My MacGyver.
Yeah.
My MacGyver maid put them up with that sticky stuff.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The one that
I'm just going to show you around real quick.
Oh wow! Look at that rack. It's like you have all this.
Okay.
That's MacGyver.
So there you go. This is where I spend all day.
Cool.
Even the closet.
Yeah. Nice.
That's it.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for everything, Paula.
Thank you, Nino.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you so much. Yeah.
Well, have a great the rest of the weekend. Yeah, it's this weekend. It's gonna be a long weekend. Monday is a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you have fun too.
You too. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Rose.
You're kidding.
Paula, come back. Oh, there you go. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Did
here.
you see me froze? Or
Yes.
No? Okay.
I
yeah.
did.
It's
No, I don't
unstable.
know. I don't know that I did. I was more worried about me.
Oh, it froze
You
again.
have to, huh?
I think we froze a little bit, but that's okay.
Oh, gosh, I don't know what's going on.
It's kind of a little unstable.
Nino, what do we do?
Come on.
I can't remember. Because the next thing I know, you're going, we're froze.
Okay, let's froze.
I know you were.
We froze again. So,
Your
froze
eyes
again.
are closed.
Come on. Stop freezing. Hello.
I see you, but
Um,
your eyes are closed.
oh my gosh. This is
What?
getting a little painful. Why is it
Oh,
freezing on
no.
me? Come on.
I don't know what to do. I can open windows.